Alright, today we're going to learn how to paint this style I call Dazzling Drips. Alright, the question today is, who is Franz Klein? Alright, let's run through the colors. Quin red, pearly red, red oxide, Indian yellow, primary yellow, turquoise, phthalo green, ultramarine blue, quin blue, titanium white, Mars black. Alright, today we're going to do a painting in a style I call Dazzling Drips. I don't know what happened, we missed the beginning, but anyway. We just got kind of our first layers, the blue into the turquoise. We got nice drips through here. I like the drips through the white, so that's really nice. So we'll put a color on here. We probably won't put any white in the middle because of that nice look. We might put white here, also at the bottom, and see how that works. I'm going to kind of switch it up this time, do it a little bit different process, and see how that turns out. Got in this kind of dark layer. We got a little bit of the blue kind of pulling through, which I think is pretty nice. We got some drip pattern here. We've preserved some of this. I think I probably went too heavy in the water. We did have some nicer drips and it kind of got blurred. So probably not the best, probably a little bit heavy use on the water. So we're going to bring back in maybe, I think, some purples and blues to kind of make this pop. It might be red in here to kind of make some contrast. We got a lot of different variation here. So we'll see how this develops and what we put down. Alright, we're back. We put in the purple, the red oxide to kind of make that pop. We got this kind of green yellow. I think what we're going to do now is kind of tone this down to a little bit bluer, cut down on the reds a little bit, and kind of make that kind of come together. It's kind of fighting itself between the purple and the green. So I kind of want to pull that a little bit more together and maybe lighten the middle a little bit more. It's a little bit kind of mid-tone, and we want kind of more lighter tones, I think, in the middle and the dark on the outside to kind of pull that together. So we'll see where we go. So Franz Kline is a famous abstract expressionist. Some have called him an action painter because his brushstroke looks very vivid and like in the moment. The interesting thing about his black and white series is they're actually carefully composed. You usually do kind of a draft on telephone pages, kind of paint it out and sketch it out, compose it. And then on his canvas, he used huge house paint similar to Jackson Pollock and paint in black and white. Interestingly enough, he kind of started out with kind of a precisionist style, I would say. Maybe not as precise, but he has come from a coal mining town, so he painted kind of that industrial look of the 1930s, 40s America. And then when he met the abstract expressionists, he kind of just dove straight in and became an abstract expressionist. And unfortunately, he died pretty young at 51, so he had kind of heart issues and he just kind of keeled over basically, right? Which happens to a lot of us. So eat healthy, guys, if you want to live long. Don't eat too much red meat. But anyway, the interesting part was after the 50s, he got kind of known as these black and white paintings. A lot of people said it was inspired by Japanese calligraphy. And I've actually seen a show personally where they compare Franz Kline and Japanese calligraphy. And that's really interesting. Also Chinese calligraphy, very similar with that kind of very abstract brushstroke of Chinese or Japanese lettering. And Franz declined that, said it wasn't inspired by that, but if you compare them side to side, they look very close in a way. Obviously, Kline has no meaning in his symbols. There's no, you can tell it's not a letter, but it does have that similar feel. And then later, as he was progressing, after the 50s, going into the late 50s, into the 60s, before he passed, he started to bring back color into his palette. Probably because he just got tired of all the black and white paintings, and people were kind of labeling the black and white painter, and he got kind of sick of it, I think. So, but yeah, that's Franz Kline. And that's the question of the day. All right, we just finished the painting. Let's take a closer look. All right, so we got kind of this nice dark purple at the top with kind of the lime green poking through that. We got a little bit of the red coming through here at this lower level. And we got this nice lime green forming here. It's been quite a bit toned down from that nice iron oxide. We have a little bit coming through, but not too much. And the dark purple at the bottom. So basically, what I was trying to do is kind of tone down that red. I think it was a little bit too high contrast. It did have a nice pop there, so I was kind of like, should I get rid of it? Should I not? I like how this kind of has this drip pattern is well set. I think now it comes together a lot better. You have the green to purple, which is obviously a high contrast, but it kind of pulls together, I think, a lot better now. The red was a little bit too much. It's like 3 layers and just 2 is good enough. I think the green to purple, and then everything else kind of sits in the background. It was interesting to work with the kind of the gesso on the edges, which I hadn't done before in earlier paintings in this style. It gave it a little bit more variety to what's kind of going on. So you get a feel for those colors and kind of a little bit different variations than just a dark edge, to the painting. The dark edge works obviously, and I have dark tones on the edges. But it's not completely dark. I mean, I could darken those a little more even to make that really kind of darken, but I think it's fine as is. It's dark enough, and you know, it's not a pure white in the middle. It's kind of like this really lime green. So I was, you know, thinking, you know, should I make it white? But I wanted to keep those drip patterns. So that was a little bit of challenge. I like the yellow, how this kind of comes through, this nice warm yellow, the Indian yellow, versus I think in one of my paintings before I used CAD, and you know, Indian yellow is just a nice warmer yellow, so it has a better feel to the color. Overall, I think it's pretty good. These kind of washed out areas I'm not crazy about, but it gives nice balance to the areas that are drips, and then there's kind of a washed out area, so you want kind of that balance in there so it doesn't have the drips all the way down, although that's just very simple and doesn't have any kind of feel to it. So those kind of, you know, neutral areas a little bit give a little bit of balance to the painting versus the drip areas. So hopefully you guys like it. Give me a thumbs up. If you'd like to subscribe, you can subscribe below. And I'll see you in the next painting video. Thanks for watching, guys.